Good, happy Tuesday afternoon, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Tuesday afternoon edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. It's July 7, 2020. First step, COVID-19 in New Hampshire, what you need to know information. Let's take a look at that right now. And here's a look at that information for all of you right now. There are 5,914 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 2,922,000 number of people in the United States have tested positive. 382 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 574 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire, and 208 the number of people in the United States who have died from COVID-19. And let's take a look at this current map of New Hampshire where current cases are. Goffstown, 120. And let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where total cases of COVID-19 are. Goffstown, 216. And now let's take a look at this chart here. Let's start with the first chart here. New cases each day in New Hampshire in the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalizations, and in the red are the deaths. Let's take a look at this chart here. Current cases in the purple, total current COVID-19 cases, and in the orange, current hospitalizations. And let's take a look at this chart here. Total cases in the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases, in the orange, total hospitalizations, in the red, deaths, and in the blue, recovered. Let's take a look at this chart here. Age group of cases, female and male of cases, and risk information. And let's take a look at this chart here. Infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Deaths, percent of New Hampshire population, hospitalizations, and race/ethnicity. And again, your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, difficult breathing, cough, chills, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. Live at 3 o'clock p.m., Governor holds latest briefing about New Hampshire's COVID-19 response. There have been 5,914 known coronavirus cases in New Hampshire, officials say. Masks, hand sanitizer will be available at Portsmouth Trump rally, campaign says. Details of event still being worked out. Let's take a listen to that video from WR News 9.
They'll be paying for this for a long time.
They will, but with accident forgiveness.
As the president continues to hold re-election rallies, his campaign says New Hampshire is one of the next stops.
It's going to have a great crowd. It's going to be a lot of energy.
The rally, which requires tickets in advance, is planned for 8 p.m. Saturday at Portsmouth International Airport at Pease.
This one is going to be outdoors, so you do need to prepare for inclement weather, whether throughout the day.
Specific logistics, including where at the airport the president will speak, are still being worked out, according to the campaign. Airport officials have been meeting with the Secret Service, along with state and local police.
We've been expecting this, even though in these difficult times, we figured that he'd be coming at some point.
While the campaign says it will strongly encourage people to wear masks, Governor Sununu says it is imperative. A Sununu spokesperson also adding if he greets the president at the airport, he will be wearing one.
We plan to peacefully organize around the rally.
Meanwhile, members of Black Lives Matter chapters in Manchester and Nashua say they will also be there in protest to send the president a message.
We need him to take all Black lives into account when he's making decisions in office.
Non-New England visitors coming to New Hampshire are also still being asked to quarantine for 2 weeks under the state's current COVID-19 guidelines, so it is unclear if the president would be violating those guidelines during his trip. We have reached out to the governor's office for comment, but so far we have not heard back. Reporting live in Manchester, Tyler Dumont, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. S&P 500 rise as major tech stocks, Apple and Microsoft, hit record highs. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq rose on Tuesday, recovering from a decline earlier in the session as shares of major tech companies such as Microsoft and Apple outperformed. Coronavirus cases grow in young people. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
The growing toll on the virus on young people in Florida. Most of the cases right now are young people, 21 years old. And in North Carolina tonight, more than half of all patients are under 50. And that push by hundreds of scientists and doctors tonight around the world, now asking the World Health Organization to explain how long this can last in the air, especially indoors. Here's Will Reeve.
Tonight, the virus and its new target. Cases in young people growing, potentially fueled by crowds like this in Missouri's Lake of the Ozarks. In North Carolina, 58% of infections are in ages 18 to 49. In Arizona, half the cases are in people 20 to 44. And here in Florida, the governor says the age with the most cases is 21.
Basically, if you're under 40 and you don't have significant comorbidities, the fatality rate for this is pretty close to zero.
Today, Dr. Anthony Fauci warning the young not to feel invulnerable.
Many young people may not necessarily get sick enough to go to the hospital, but they can get very sick.
31-year-old Cara Schiavo has been fighting COVID since March. Her doctors say she may now have asthma for life.
I also thought it was only really, dangerous for the elderly until I got it. I exercised before this, and it hit me like a ton of bricks, and it didn't matter how old I was.
And new concerns tonight about how the virus spreads. The WHO's current guidance says the virus is primarily spread by large droplets from coughs or sneezes. The CDC guidelines saying it spreads through close contact through those droplets when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or talks. But 239 scientists from 32 countries have prepared a letter urging the WHO to recognize the potential of the virus to spread through inhaling smaller airborne particles that can linger for longer periods of time, especially indoors. David, some of those scientists who made those recommendations to the WHO are saying that people should be wearing masks even when they're socially distanced and even when they're indoors. David?
All right, ABC's Will Reeve will thank you.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this afternoon edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching this afternoon edition. Have a great rest of your afternoon, and I'll see you back here later on today for another broadcast.